Welcome to this episode of Sunny Silver Linings, where we talk about best practices and helpful hints for the MSP community. Our guest this week is none other than the one, the only Jamison West of ConnectStrat. Jamison is a serial entrepreneur and has been doing so for over 25 years. He built a very successful MSP, and now he runs not one, not two, but three different companies: T-Metrics, Smileback, and TimesUs. Jamison, we are super excited to have you here. And as always, your host, the founder and CEO of IT by Design, but more importantly, a man I am honored to call my friend. Sunny, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. And I'm just so excited that we have a special guest today, and he's a serial entrepreneur. And when you talk about entrepreneurship, when you talk about someone who is not going to be working in the business, working on the business, we have a perfect example. And Jamison, welcome to our show. Welcome to our podcast. I'm just so excited about having a conversation. So my first question to you is, if you were MSP owner, what are the key things that you will focus on to make sure that you are leading well during crisis?
Well, I think the most important thing in terms of, and you're right, I am a serial entrepreneur, and I'm really, to your point, I'm a visionary. I am way better on the business than in the business. I need an integrator to make things run the way they should. And what I see during, it's always important, but especially important during times of dramatic change, upheaval, or challenges in a business, that people don't forget to focus on their vision and strategy. At ConnectStrat, with all of the clients that we coach through EOS and strategy and all of that work, we see this strong tendency to kind of panic or worry and really go deep in the business and kind of forget the focus on their vision, their core values, their purpose, and those pieces that allow them to really leverage times like this to create a stronger culture, to really connect their people and drive forward in a positive way.
Yeah, so strategy should be our focus. Now, one challenge, so at IT by Design, we are going through the same thing. It's really challenging to stay focused on your strategic plan when the situation is so dynamic, because things are changing almost every minute around us with this COVID situation. So what's your advice to MSP owners that what can they do to make sure that they can have that balance?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a really interesting year for that. EOS specifically, which I know you use at IT by Design, and which all of our clients are using as the foundational piece of their VTO, their plan. What's their strategy? What shouldn't change, as I was saying before, what shouldn't change is your vision, right? What shouldn't change, or your core values should remain the same. You need to anchor yourself in that first kind of pillar of vision. But strategy is something that you need to be a bit dynamic with. And we encourage our clients to really think about what's the new landscape look like? Do a SWOT, do strategic exercise to dig in and say, hey, all of a sudden we saw projects come to a complete stop. But it was all of 3-4 weeks later that we saw cloud migration projects accelerate at a pace we hadn't seen in a long time. But IT service providers had to be strategically prepared to pivot if they weren't already doing those. So there's some great examples on short-term strategy, and then there's long-term strategy. Like, what is this really contemplating what the landscape's going to look like 2, 3, 4 years from now, and how are you going to differentiate and succeed against your competitors over that time? So strategy, we're encouraging our clients to dig even deeper into strategy in these times.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And especially with the EOS, we mentioned EOS. EOS we are using. Prior to EOS, we were using StratOp. And so we switched to EOS because of a few reasons. One reason was meeting rhythm, not having a proper framework with our strategic plan, the win wheel. So now I got to know that you kind of created something very special. that covers weaknesses of EOS as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the first thing I'd say is EOS and then StratOp and then Life Plan from Peterson, all these things, they're all wonderful at what they do. And I really do believe in that EOS mantra that you don't run multiple systems, you run one system, but one system that does what it does. So in our opinion, we believe at ConnectStrat that there's really kind of 4 pillars of thinking about your organization. There's kind of your life legacy plan. What does the entrepreneur and owner really want? You can't dictate what you want out of your business unless you know what you want out of your life. So that's the first piece, life and legacy. Vision, which is the one place where StratOp and EOS overlap a bit, but what are your core values, your core purpose, kind of the high level vision stuff, which is really I don't want to say it's a set exercise and it's not constantly iterating, right? You want to look at it, but it doesn't change a lot. Then there's the next component, strategy, which StratOp is directly targeted to, but EOS just barely touches with their 3-year picture and maybe their marketing 3 uniques, right? That's about it. Not a lot of strategy. And then there's execution, which EOS goes exactly what you said. The cadence and rhythm, everything a year in, EOS there's no system like it. I absolutely love it for that reason. So we do EOS, but then we layer in life planning and StratOp and other strategic exercises so that we can cover all 4 of those pillars in a firm model with a bunch of people who've got tremendous experience in the TSP community.
Third piece is normally, in order to go somewhere, you need cash. You need that financial power. Can you talk to us a little bit where you are focusing, what from your perspective, where other business owners should focus to make sure that their balance sheet stays strong as well?
Yeah, so I mean, right now it's a really interesting time from a cash perspective, right? So the majority of our clients were able to pull from PPP and idle and be able to at least protect themselves from the immediate reactive response that might be required. But we caution our clients in a couple of ways. Number one, just because you may have this cash, don't stop running your business intelligently. Don't forego the fact that you still need profits. Think of this cash as an insurance policy, not a spend fest, right? And so there's 2 mentalities around how people are going to leverage this monthly. I really buy into you need cash because we still don't know yet as PPP expires and people leverage their idle funds. We feel like our clients, our small businesses are kind of propped up. And when that prop gets ripped out, we still haven't seen the repercussions of what's going to happen there. So you have to have cash that is as intended to continue to employ people, to ensure that your business can survive the next drop in business. And we know that the IT services community is second in line. So first will be small businesses, then the IT services businesses, and then after that, the software vendors that support them. So I'm the CEO of Smileback and TimeZest, and I'm fortunate enough with Smileback and TimeZest that our businesses are both a little larger than they were before COVID started. But we also we're at the end of the domino chain, right? And ConnectStrat, we didn't grow, but we're really seeing people say now's the time. They're thinking like you and I are talking. The visionaries out there saying now's the time. And so we're seeing a lot of folks talking to us about how do we double down on strategy. So that's cash, and the mentality around cash is really critical.
Yeah. So don't overspend or keep your emergency fund. My father always will kind of always keep teaching me that making money is easy, but using money wisely is very difficult. So if we have that little bit of extra cash, our cash position is a little bit stronger. Using that cash wisely, keeping your emergency fund, and making sure that if you're making an investment, it's aligned with your strategy, it's aligned with your purpose, to make sure that if you're building something, you're investing in something, it's going to help you thrive in the new norm. That's a great point. Thank you so much for that. Is there anything else that you are doing that MSP owners should do in these scary times?
So one thing that I think we're really one thing I know we're talking to our clients about in terms of strategy specifically is things aren't going back to the way they were in February. Not entirely. We'll go partially back, but work from home, cloud-based. We've seen. I have friends who are in the internet online sale business, like Amazon resellers and the like, and all of them profess that COVID essentially accelerated e-commerce, online e-commerce, by 4 to 5 years. That is a dramatic change in what the future. So, what does that mean for long term for retailers? What does that mean? Who are we supporting from a business perspective, and what technologies are we supporting? What we said 3 years ago meant in February isn't the same as what 3 years ago means today. So digging into your strategy, looking at your core competencies, looking at your prospective customer matrix, and balancing how you're going to leverage those to be unique and differentiated as this progresses is absolutely essential to the success of the business, because we see a lot of folks not doing any of that and just pretending like nothing's happening and just moving forward. They will not survive. So there's a huge opportunity. I think also the other thing I'd mention is larger MSPs or people who have the right cash are certainly looking for opportunities to acquire. I really think that the next 6 to 12 months will be very interesting in the M&A community. So that's been another strategy that people are beginning to really leverage as they look at their balance sheet compared to other balance sheets where people aren't protecting cash.
So, Sonny, why don't you give us a summary?
Yeah, so those are great points. Thank you so much once again. Jamison, thank you so much for coming to our podcast. So strategy, and then where you are going and why you're going there, and then cash is king, your balance sheet. And I love the fact that you can combine your strategic wheel with your US wheel, with your life wheel, and that's going to be kind of a complete success. And so I love it. Thank you so much.
Very excited about it. Thank you.
Jamison, thank you for joining us today. If one of our viewers says, wow, that what he's saying makes a lot of sense, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Visit us at ConnectStrat.com. So just like it sounds, ConnectStrat.com. You can email me, Jamison@ConnectStrat.com. And it's not spelled like the whiskey. It's JAMISON at ConnectStrat. You know what? Now that you say it, Todd, I should probably create an alias that's Jamison with an E, just because I think maybe some people assume.
Good idea.
I'm going to do that as soon as we're done here.
Always here to help, my friend. Always here to help. Thank you, Jamison. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, viewers, for taking the time to watch this episode. We certainly hope that you took some nuggets away. And if you did, please honor us with a like, a share, and a subscribe. And we'll see you in the next episode.